Okay. Deck tech. So, shout out to Alexis Torres for suggesting fateful absence here. this this card I think this card actually yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, this is basically the same main board. So I think is an excellent sideboard card because finally we can deal with planeswalkers. Of course, we could deal with planeswalkers with, for example, like Pithing Needle, but I like this because it's more versatile. It can hit creatures too. Yes, they get to draw a card, but have to pay 2 with the blue token. This may not necessarily be the ideal card for all kind of grindy matchups. But I do like the way it does hit planeswalkers, and I do like the way, like, for decks like Hammer Time and other decks where, like, we need a critical mass of ideally instant speed creature removal. Because if you think about it, we only have Path to Exile as instant speed creature removal. Like Fateful Absence, could be that kind of like missing piece to deal with like extra stuff. It could be main deckable, but honestly, I think Settle the Wreckage is just kind of too powerful to pass up in the main deck. It's between these two cards, Settle the Wreckage and Winds of Abandon. That's kind of like where most of this deck's power comes from, and it's so weird because it's like an aggro deck, but it's all again based on the premise that Winds of Abandon is like our that's basically it's like our kind of one-sided upheaval. I mean, that only hits creatures, but it's like a one-sided wrath. So its ability to clear the board and let us alpha strike, or at least make a good strike, it just pretty much like makes the deck in many ways. Also, for the record, I tried Squadron Hawk instead of Leonin Squire. Big mistake. A couple problems with Squadron Hawk that I wasn't necessarily foreseeing. First of all, if you have multiple copies of Squadron Hawk in your hand, then it's kind of bad. It's kind of like you take an automatic mulligan. And that doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it kind of sucks. And that I don't think that happens necessarily. Yeah, I think the amount of times you see more than one Squadron Hawk in your hand is probably comparable to the amount of times that you see Leonin Squire, but not a Mishra's Bauble or a Soul Guide Manager. So both of them kind of have a fail rate. So I think it was incorrect to assume Squadron Hawk is kind of more consistent and giving me full value. But the other thing about Leonin Squire is just that we really need to draw more cards to hit our land drops, and we just really need to like relentlessly draw through our deck to hit like Winds of Abandon and to a lesser extent Settle the Wreckage. Like these two cards, like I said, are just kind of like the backbone of what enables us to compete against decks far more powerful than us. So yeah, I think just any card that kind of allows me to draw deeper into the deck is super good. And yeah, and I don't know what else to say. Just I think it is pretty good, and I've been liking Leonin Squire. Needless to say, I think there's a reason why this deck has found some success. I have to imagine that not many people have tried Leonin Squire, and sure enough, it's just kind of like our Silvergill Adept, but it does provide some utility with Soul Guide Lantern, though, because there are some decks where we need like multiple cracks off this thing, and or we can just crack it and then like bring it back and then selectively pinpoint a card in their graveyard to hit. It's mostly like a Silvergill Adept type of card, but it also does provide some utility. It's better than it looks. It's way better than it looks. No more Engineer Explosives for some recursive token hate, but again, I think Fateful Absence is just an excellent sideboard card, mostly because it's versatile Planeswalker hate, and that's also very relevant because against like the control decks, we don't necessarily have to bring in. We either don't have to bring in Drannith Magistrate, or we can bring in Fateful Absence and Core Firewalker instead, and then keep just Path, because sometimes they have like Shark Typhoon and Celestial Colonnade. So like honestly, I would say I'm kind of liking how this is coming together. Fateful Absence does allow us to have more game against control. A lot of times, I don't like the idea of allowing control to draw more cards, but if it's like that or just a Teferi that just gets out of control, I think I know where I want to stand. Anyway, let's get to the game, see how it goes. Smash that like button if you want to see. If let me know if this is like I think this is probably going to be my last league for a while. I've probably hit this deck too hard, but there's a lot of interest in this deck. I was surprised when I tweeted it. There was way more interest in this deck than I thought there was going to be. I guess that's what happens when you try budget lists that somehow slay Goliaths. Yeah, and people keep suggesting cards. Blossoming Calm, and then like a Fateful Absence. Thank you for suggesting these cards. But you suggest them, and I feel like I got to try them. But eventually, I have to get back to my other decks, especially my mono black deck. I know you all are looking forward to more of that, but you can't deny this is fun. This is some just janking people out with this is just kind of fun. But anyway, all right. And this is actually kind of like our Castle of Lochthwain. Not quite as powerful, but I mean, it also doesn't cost life. So like, anyway, all right, let's get to the games. All right, match one. Yep, and I like this hand. Let's go. All right. We'll keep. I'll play this out. I'll bite, as it were. I feel bad for not playing out Soul Guide Lantern. But I guess I can return it with Leonin Squire, but might be too late. Please no grief, please no grief. Single-handedly, this gives me a chance in game one against the Living End. Waker of Waves, yes. Definitely. Alrighty. I just really don't want to miss my land drops. Alrighty. What's the worst they can do? I have Path and Winds of Abandon. But honestly, this way I also can't kill the fairy, so I'm gonna angle to try to return it to my hand with Leonin Squire. So double Living End in their hand. That can't be ideal. Alright, that's fine. Both of these cards are not terribly threatening. Huh, it's still bugged. I don't think it really makes that big of a difference, though, to be honest. I will probably block. Because the Cathar Commando. Just try to get a clock on. Let me just sack this now. So if I can tap land, okay. I might just put this to hand. You might put Grief into play. I might start suspending Living End also. Okay, fine, you got Lurrus. See, they got double Shardless Agent. I mean, since most of their... I think most of their... No, but then I can... Yeah, I'm just going to do this because I get to make a token, too. Now let's see, 4, 5, 6. 6 minus 3 is... 6 minus 3 is 4. Oh no, sorry, 6 minus 3. 6 minus... I mean, yeah, 3 is... 3 plus 1 is 4. The only reason I can't just sack Soul Guide Lantern and bring it back with Squire is because they might have Force Negation. Let's see if it's bugged again. I'm just going to leave it in this order, or any order. Just makes it feel a little bit more fair. Yeah, I'll attack because they have to block Cathar Commando. In case I draw a land, yep. Alright, easy peasy game 1 against, I guess this is 4 color. Draneth Magistrate for sure. Instead of Sanctifier. Other than that, I think the rest is all pretty... Yeah, I think all the rest is pretty understandable. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, we have the lantern, which we're not going to play on turn 1 because we want to at least draw a card if they foundation break. Alrighty. Let's see if they force negation. That's a lot of card draw. Okay, fine. I might be able to slow them down enough to where maybe I can settle the wreckage if they don't grief me. If they grief me, I'll probably just have to path the grief before it hits the grave. This will go to the graveyard anyway. I wish I could play this in instant speed, but alas. I guess I could have just cracked the clue token now that I think about it. But anyway, I kind of want them to use it now before it's too late. Okay, well that got shuffled away. Okay, let's path that. They're giving us time to draw into. Into another hate spell. Nope. Not this time though, but that's okay. Alright, let's just do this. They played this, so another Waker of Waves. Oops, I should have put that out, I guess. Well, the Draeneth Magistrate here is going to force the action. Although maybe I can't afford to force the action. They would have been at 1, but I guess that doesn't make a difference in the grand scheme of things if you think about it. Why would I play this? Okay, well that was kind of anticlimactic. Alright, match 2. Let's see here. Hey, I'm liking it. I'm loving it. Let's see here. A part of me likes the idea of this being Squadron Hawk, but then there's just so many matchups where the pro-red and pro-black are so much better. I like, apparently, this matchup, most likely. Well, there's 3 more where that came from. Wait, did I forget to play that? I forgot to play that, didn't I? Alright. I'll probably just attack and cycle. Probably discard Field of Ruin. Not bad. Should I just put Lurrus to hand? Yeah, I mean, maybe so. Just be mana efficient. I've got a feeling this is 8 rack. Another thing about Squadron Hawk is that if you have more than one in your hand, it could just be kind of bad. Like if you have 3 Squadron Hawks in your opening hand, that's almost a mulligan before the game even started. Because the other 2 are kind of blanks, because one was just going to fetch the other 2 anyway. They can keep discarding land if they want. I mean, there's a limit to how much land I think they can realistically have. Shrieking Affliction. I could path my own creature, but why? Yeah, I'll path this in response to Liliana downtick if they have the 3rd mana. I think I'll pass my Thraben Inspector in response. I'll make a token that also insulates me a little bit to Shrieking Affliction, and it's only a difference of 1 power. It's also more mana efficient to just make a token. I love the way I can apply pressure without actually having to reduce my hand size. In fact, I think I'll keep doing that. Alrighty. Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's see here. Blossoming Calm might actually be pretty good. I think Winds of Abandon is basically just a dead card, as is Settle the Wreckage. So I think we'll play Core Firewalker just because it's a better beater. And then the question is Draeneth Magistrate or Fateful Absence. I think I'm going with a couple Fateful Absence to just maybe shoot a Liliana down. Alright, let's go. That is a cool thing about Fateful Absence, actually. Yeah, thanks Alexis Torres for suggesting this. It still needs more testing, but like I think I tried to practice League, and just these Fateful Absences were not doing it for me in the main deck. They seem to be counterproductive to the idea of gaining card advantage and dealing with all their stuff. On the other hand, main deck Settle the Wreckage, or Settle the Wreckage continues to impress. So I think we're actually going with main deck Settle the Wreckage sideboard, that card. So let's see. Yeah, we'll keep. We have nothing to buy back yet with Leonin Squire, but we'll get there. Okay. Oh yeah, I just realized Path's probably dead too. So this this should be Fateful Absence, and then Draeneth Magistrate should round it out. Maybe four Draeneth Magistrate, 2 Fateful Absence actually. I can also Fateful Absence my own creatures as like a really janky draw spell. Alrighty. Oh man, Blossoming Calm could be the real deal. It's got to be better than just playing a random Thraben Inspector out there. I don't know, but then again, okay, too late. But then again, actually, Liliana down tick would probably be. Anyway, we'll see. Urza Saga. You'll get caught up in the Urza Saga. Alrighty. There's always like a little extra incentive to hold stuff in your hand. So the question is, do I blow this up with Cathar Commander or with Field of Ruin? I'm going to say Field of Ruin. I'm going to keep holding up Blossoming Calm. I need to get some advantage out of this. Alright, let's play this. And this will be a very juicy Liliana target, which I can hopefully counter with a Blossoming Calm. Oh, Cathar Commander to the rescue. Alright. Now let's just take care of this now. Bye-bye, Urza Saga. Thank goodness they decided to make this an enchantment. So too bad for like people who spend lots of money on Urza Saga thinking that it'll single-handedly make their deck top tier. I mean, it does improve it, but like people are prepared now, you know? That's the thing about the top cards. Like, the top cards are good, but people are prepared for them. So, like, people who expect that their deck's going to be invincible with, like, Ragavan, believe us, we play Ragavan in our red deck, and believe us, people are prepared. Like, you know, the format's just not rolling over and dying to these overpowered cards they printed. I mean, they arguably shouldn't have printed them in the first place. I think Ragavan would have been fine if it didn't also reveal cards off the top. Well, I guess I will path to exile the Thraben? No, I want the Thraben back. I'm going to take 1 damage from the rack. Oh no, okay, I was worried they were going to wrench mine me. And if they try to discard my Lurrus, I've got not just 1, but 2 Blossoming Charm columns ready. And I can crack a Clue token if they don't do anything else. Alrighty. Leonin Squire. And I can sacrifice another Clue token at end of turn. They didn't have a way to trigger Revolt, I guess. We can rebuy the Thraben Inspector. So I don't know if that, in the grand scheme of things, that was like the best. Smallpox. Each player loses 1 life. Target card, sacrifice a creature. I like Sanctifier, but I think Leonin Squire has the potential for better long-term card advantage. And freaking no targeting. Feels a little BS, but what can you do? Also, where the frick are my 8, you know, are my 8 Soul Guide Lantern and Mishra's Bauble. I guess I can feel to ruin that thing away. Let's see. If they block, that's fine. Okay, yeah, because they want it to be a better blocker next turn. This is frustrating, though, because, like, I'm not drawing any of those, Blossom and Calm this one. Okay, to take 1 damage, I guess. I still have hexproof, in case they want to try to target me next turn. Come on. What on earth is this? What on earth is this? No castles either. Seven. This is, like, really infuriating here. Maybe I'll just attack with everything repeatedly the following turn. It's definitely one of the downsides to Leonin Squire when you're like halfway through your deck and you don't see an eight of. Maybe from here on out I just attack them. I don't know. Yeah, at least I get to gain some life from that. A random red spell in their deck. I almost want to destroy my own creature, so I probably will do. Still feels a little bit like a joke, but hey, what can you do? I really don't want them to draw a card. So we can get rid of Raven's Crime. Get rid of another thing. I guess Fulminaire Mage. And finally we can get some value out of this thing. Eventually, when we take care of Liliana, then we can attack for more, probably. That's a nice one. Probably just path this. I don't want to die to them dropping another rack. Oh, it is worth noting I can make 2 tokens. Yeah, you know what? I shouldn't have played that Castle Ardenvale. That was my bad. Enough to drop enough to drop a Shrieking Affliction. I'm dead. Well, okay. All right, yeah, but we gotta be careful about these things. All right. Alright, match 3 up against Laplacian. And here we have this decently keepable hand. It is hammer time. Yeah, we're going to need all the mana we can get, so let's... I don't like telegraphing, I don't have an answer, but I don't think they can drop 2 hammers, at least. Just yet? Okay. Now, I can drop end of turn Cathar Commando, but I want to hold up the path because never underestimate their ability to drop like double hammer and just get you. Sometimes also a 2/2 is just better as a blocker than Squadron Hawk. So there's also that. Yeah, that's fine. I can hit the hammer, or hit that. Oh man, I don't like drawing these guys drawing a million cards, but I don't really, I don't really know if I have much of a Winds of Abandon. I can still work towards a crazy ultimate turn, so maybe yeah. I'm gonna just path and pay the tax. Well, let's see if they drop another hammer. Never underestimate the ability of card draw, so I take this opportunity while I can. Leaves me a little soft to Urza Saga, but I think it's well worth it. Okay. I think I need to do this now, obviously. Yes. Yes. Get rid of Colossus Hammer. And I think I need to path this now. Because I want to use Winds of Abandon, ideally, with the Overload. So Gardazaid would suck and make me question everything. Okay. I might need... So here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Because we can return this with Leonin Squire if we don't draw a land, but we do. Of course, we could die on the backswing, but that's the sword we decided to live on. It would be frustrating if they didn't have Sigarda's by now, but then again, they didn't until just now. So let's see. I need Sigarda's and this. Okay. We'll bluff something. They want to hit Soul Guide Lantern, be my guest. Okay. Alright, Sicarda's Aid. Alright, this is where Fateful Absence comes in handy. So I don't get juked by this anymore. So we can teach arrogant Hammer Time players a lesson. Not that necessarily Laplacian is, although he probably is. I mean, you know, the top players are generally kind of arrogant. Maybe that includes us. I don't know if the word's top player or not, but... Where the frick was our Settle the Wreckages? Like, what is that? Yeah, poor little Laplacian probably doesn't even see this coming. Yeah, not bad. Well, he might have us if he intuits that we don't have a path. So we tried to have another instant speed answer in the form of Fateful Absence. I wonder if even the Laplacian might be okay. Alrighty, we need a land. Nice. Yeah, let's play Cathar Commando. So we're gonna want to block and hit Urza Saga maybe. That Thoughtseize is a little bit concerning. Play another hammer. So I need to draw path basically, and I want to path the Mem Knight. Man. Okay, I need to actually cycle into a basic land. Nope. Okay. We may... Ladies and gentlemen, we may have a game, although they're going to Thoughtseize us, which is a problem. So maybe we have to do this here. Thoughtseize is definitely going to cause problems. It's a different art Thoughtseize. Alright, well, at least we got a chump blocker. Or not. Dang it, man. If it wasn't for frickin' Thoughtseize. Alright, we couldn't teach them a lesson, anyway. Alright, match 4. And don't worry, we'll crush Hammer Time and make them salty next time. We got an incredibly good matchup against them. I've done it many times in the past. Alrighty. I like me some Path to Exile. Just some minor protection against ninjutsu. We can't ninjutsu until the blockers phase and when it's unblocked. What on earth is this? Alright, let's see. Lurrus to hand. Okay, maybe we feel like one of the cool kids and we put Lurrus to hand. How do you like that, huh? I don't know, though. I mean, it's mana efficient, but like... Yeah, we want to be one of the cool kids, too. So Jund Ragavan. Just Jund. Well, both of their Dragon Rage Channelers at least are going to attack right into my Settle the Wreckage next turn. As they have double Thoughtseize. They're trying to not attack. Silly. Alright. This is some extreme weirdness right here. Why? Why does this happen to me? Dang it, man, my Lurrus. Yeah, we just had no creatures, and obviously, like, Core Sanctifier would have wrecked them, but, you know. I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't give a hoot. What is this? At least this BS. You also get to have a feel for how many basics they play. Looks like only 3. And I don't want to reveal this. I don't think we were gonna come back, and the problem is they have that other Urza Saga. Like, we're at a crossroads, and I'm just not gonna show them probably the most important card in the matchup. All right, I think we need Fateful Absence. As much as it pains me. We don't need Core Firewalker. I mean, all of these cards are pretty good. We just have to, like, draw them on time. Cathar Commando or Fateful Absence. Man, I like Thraben Inspector, I really do, but I just don't know if... Maybe it's Leonin Squire. No, but that Leonin Squire can be great for bringing back the Soul Guide Lanterns. Maybe the Settle the Wreckages are too cute. I don't know. Hopefully I don't get that funked up hand like last time. Ay, ay, ay. Now this could be funked up, but at least we got Sanctifier, so hopefully they don't discard it. And they mulligan. Music to our ears. Revenge for that incredibly unlucky last game of ours. We'd mulligan to a good 6 over that hand any day, but at the time we kept it, I don't think A, we knew what they were on, and B, we knew we were going to keep flooding like that bad. And that's why these secluded steps are so essential. I mean, we would have been even more flooded if we didn't have those. Could have brought in Blossoming Calm. Alrighty. Just because we can't afford letting them just discard it. Alright, they borrowed the Pirate Spellbomb tech from us, which is fine. And teach them a lesson or 3. I can only hit Fateful Absence, which I'm beginning to regret bringing in, to be honest. Unfortunately, we need one more white mana to actually get Sanctifier back. And they could get Pirate Spellbound back in theory, so we shall see. No, what are we doing? We need this for Urza Saga. Well, that's definitely what Field of Ruin is for. In good times and bad times. Now we just start making tokens, and hopefully it's good enough. Can they bring anything back? Not that I can see. I can fateful absence that, and I think we probably should. Ragavan, that's good to know about. Ragavan does everything a Ragavan can. A little bit. Okay, fine. Maybe they have enough removal, so I don't want to miss out on too many attacks. They must have a removal spell. They can't really make use of that. I don't know why they wanted to hit me so bad. I don't know why I'm holding on to this Soul Guide Lantern, now that I think about it. Just in case of Kolagon's command. Alrighty. You have to have 2 removal spells. Okay, well I got the run for that, okay. That's why I held on to these, so that I can, yeah, but now I need to kill that thing. There we go, and that'll do it. Or that'll do it as well. Yesterday, country roads, taking me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, taking me home down country roads. They may could see before I see their top card, okay. See, that's the power of Castle. Inevitability. I get to just make plays. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Fateful Absence. No, it's just bad in this matchup at least. I could still see this being useful against like Hammer Time. It would be nice if they didn't have the turn 2 kill. Well, I guess they didn't have the turn, but it would be nice if like, yeah, this is just useful for like decks where we gotta kill critical creatures. We do have, yeah, because we're just so light on the instant speed creature interaction. I don't know about Settle the Wreckage though too. Yeah, but too late. It's just so expensive. I mean, it's not perfect, but this definitely has potential. Mishra's Bauble. Yay. Mishra's Bauble USA. Yeah, that's from the Cruisin' USA game. Cruisin', yay. Cruisin' USA. Yeah. Okay, thank goodness, no, So I probably want the option to play Cathar Commando. Will I actually play it out, though? I don't know. Play it out until almost certain removal. But I want to be able to take it out against discard. Okay, well, at least I get a solid hit in. Yes, I'm playing Reign of Inquisition. Worked out last game, so maybe it'll work this game. Yesterday, country roads, taking me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, taking me home. Country roads. So, do we actually get to use Cathar Commander to kill that? Nice. And I could also just Field a Ruin. Is there literally anything better to Field a Ruin? Probably not. This does signal to me that they probably don't have a removal spell. Because, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, bye-bye, Lurrus. Maybe this should have been Fateful Absence. I don't really play anything on 0. Yeah, I'll use a Settle the Wreckage on just Lurrus, okay. I think I have to start drawing into other stuff. Yeah, Winds of Abandon seems decent. With the last card that I hold in my hand to be a Plains. I will Settle the Wreckage on this thing. Where is that castle? Yeah, so this doesn't have to just sit around waiting to get thought seized. See, instant sorcery, land, probably land. Well, no, that was a bad move. Anyway, it's okay. It's about time I draw a castle. See, this is why I'm playing castle. It just helps so much to close out the game. Now, of course, their engineer explosives can kill these, but hopefully it'll rack up some damage in the meantime. Oh, goify goif. I hardly knew ye. I have to start drawing cards. That's not actually not bad. But Renin 6 is just going to ping it. If I attack to this, they have to block the Cathar Commando if they want to save Lily. But then they can kill this thing, which maybe is fine with me. They have to block, or they can block this, kill this. Could do that. This could be a mistake, but let's do it. Either way, I can at least prevent them from gaining life by sacking this. Okay, let's do this. If I attack full force, yeah, I gotta kill this stupid run. I know this seems incredibly like a suicide attack, but like I've got to get Ren off the table. I have enough creatures to come out ahead on the creature battle. It's the Ren and 6 that's going to do me in. Oh, they can sweep the tokens away. Alright, take 7 or 8. Oh hey, they got rid of another castle. It's not too bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, not bad. I think I have to try to win. Alright, just a little hedge against ninjutsu. Obviously, they're going to have to name castle. Country roads taking me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, taking me home. Yeah, I definitely should have had Fateful Absence because like, you know, there's definitely a possibility that we may want to be more aggro. Alrighty. Oh, yeah, game 1 looked bad, but we knew what we needed in order to take it down, so we could take games 2 and 3. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. Alright, match 5. Hey, we're 3 and 1. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. Alright. Yeah, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. And playing this in the main deck, I guess we're gonna see. Wait a minute. Yeah, they're supposed to play first. Okay. Yeah, maybe Fatefully Absent is better than Subtle Wreckage. I don't know. It's hard to say. Fateful Absence is just kind of bad in some matchups. Just get a little dinky beater out here. Alrighty. Esper control. Oh, Esper Reanimator. Alrighty. Do I want to path this, or do I want to path the reanimation spell? I mean, the card they reanimate. Maybe this, because... yeah. Well, they might have some type of counterspell, but I'm willing to run that risk. Well, let's path this in response. Archon of Cruelty. If this thing didn't have Unearth, then I'd probably just hit the creature, but the fact that it can Unearth is kind of what tips the scales for me. Just in case we draw another Mishra's Bauble. Getting a little floody, not gonna lie. Alright, that's fine. At least I've settled the wreckage. Yeah, I don't think I need too many of these. I could be wrong. That could be a big mistake. Oh, man, where were you in my life earlier? Yeah, I hate the way that this is such a sitting duck to counter magic, but... anyway. Huh. Yeah, let's do this now before they can draw like Spell Pierce or something. Yeah, I'll make a token and then I'll try to bring back Lurrus. Although, it could end up being a mistake. Come on, some type of interaction. I guess, you know, it's not perfect interaction, but I guess it's some type of interaction. One cool thing also that I like about Castle Ardenvale is that sometimes it can cloak a Settle the Wreckage because like they might suspect something's up if I'm not putting Lurrus to hand. But with Castle Ardenvale at the ready, they might just think I'm trying to make a token. Hey, better than nothing, right? Now they could just hard cast another one from hand, but what am I supposed to do? Not put Lurrus to my hand? Or of course they could also just Faithful Mending, discard, or just put it in the graveyard from there. They've got a lot of options. Still, how many persists can they have? This is Esper Reanimator. Hardcast Archon. Or Faithful Mending. Yeah, or just that. Okay. Alright. You know, they should probably return it to their hand. I would if I were them. Because I can't really interact well if they return it to their hand, but I might be able to interact if I draw. I shouldn't have let them see that. Oh man, with my main deck Sanctifier, this main deck Soul Guide Lantern, all these Exile spells just didn't line up properly. So this arrogant Esper player probably thinks that they've got a good matchup, but they're wrong. So we'll just beat them in games 2 and 3. It's the only way to do it. Winds of Abandon, I have to say, I mean, what's it called? Settle the Wreckage, I have to say, was a disappointment. Just letting them get another card draw is just a little too brutal. Yeah. Could play Blossoming Calm, but nah, that's a little too, I think, cheeky. Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, okay. Soul Guide Lantern. The only thing I don't like is if they have a prismatic ending, but I really want to curve into turn 2 Cathar, so I guess it is what it is. Plus they could discard it. So yeah, I'm gonna play Cathar. I gotta get get a little aggressive. Got to put the clock on. And a 3/1 flash is not a bad clock. Okay. Well, we can actually hit that with Cathar, which is always nice. Yeah, we're killing this. Because it would also hit the Thraben Inspector. Maybe I should have waited, actually. Given them a card to discard. But, you know, we'll see. Alrighty. Thraben Inspector. Da-da-da-da-da. Inspector Gadget. We can put the beats on, we'll see. Griffy griff. Griffy griffy. Griffy griffy griffy. Alrighty. And ephemeраting their grief at least won't necessarily do much for them. Yeah, why not? That could have been a little dangerous, but also getting it out of my hand means I can't discard. The key thing is Archon costs 8, not 6, and that's important because I used to think it cost 6. So it'd be just kind of busted if it cost 6, but you know, thankfully it does indeed cost 8. They're closer to that though than it seems. Griffy, Griffy, Griffy. And I could ramp them right into Archon. That would suck. But I feel like I gotta go for the win, right? Oh, okay, fine. At least they don't draw a card. Da-da-da-da-da. Inspector Gadget. Now what? Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce! Well, at least we get to threaten lethal next turn. They have to block this or they're just dead. Honestly, that might be better for us because now they're not ramped into Archon. Interesting alternate ARF here for grief. What is this card called? Already, nice. Yeah, and I think this is what it is. I mean, Cathar Commander. Yeah, I mean it deals with their Ratchet Bomb. Hey, can't ask for too much more, am I right? Plus, it's just the fastest beater we have. I think it's better than Settle the Wreckage. Yeah, this hand just doesn't actually have anything we need. Okay, this hand has multiple things we need. Keep. Yeah, Mishra's Bauble is probably not as necessary since we have the Soul Guide Lantern. Thraben Inspector. Da 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 da. Woohoo! I do want to just curve out to Sanctifier next turn. And I want to, you know, get around Counterspell. I mean, with this at least. Well, we haven't seen Counterspell yet, so... I mean, they shocked themselves. That's probably because they're going to play Faithful Mending. I think this could put a damper on what they're doing. Okay, well, it's going to exile them when it comes down anyway, so... All their Archons go bye-bye. Thraben Inspector. Dovin's Veto. Interesting card. Thank goodness that they seem to be on Ratchet Bomb instead of Engineer Explosives. For maximum clock, I'll probably try to get the Cathar out there. But I guess we'll see. Da 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 da. Thraben Inspector. Da 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 da. Hoo hoo. Thraben Inspector. Inspector Gadget. Ooh, Mentor. Well, this is where Fateful Absence is gonna definitely come in. I mean, yeah, Fateful Absence is definitely gonna come in handy. And the problem is they might have Ephemerate. That is the problem. Well, let's start off by attacking. And we can keep dropping commanders at least. So I'm dead worried about Ephemerate. But this thing's gonna go kind of nuts even without it. I don't know. Maybe I'm playing too scared of the Ephemerates, but we'll see. Griefy, griefy, griefy. Yeah, they've definitely got Ephemerate. Well, I'm not playing into that. I'm actually gonna discard. I'm actually gonna cycle this Soul Guide Lantern. So I'm actually going to Winds of Abandon the Grief. Well, no, actually, what's the difference, right? Yeah, let's just do it like this. We gotta put the pedal to the metal. Yeah, see? We knew it. We knew it! And now we can hit them with Winds of Abandon. Griefy, griefy, griefy's gotta hit this, doesn't it? I think they're kicking themselves for not ephemerating grief. Like, why wouldn't they? Because if they would have ephemerated grief, then they would have. This would have got a prowess trigger. They still would have got the monk. They would have taken my wins out of my hand. Okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, so you know how I like to give credit where credit's due. I mean, where like I like to how's this? So I'm just trying to say, like, you know how I like to say, kind of like, we should have won a certain game. I am not 100% convinced we should have won this game, but I don't know. It depends. They are a little bit low on cards. They should still have a mentor in play, which is actually huge, because they should have hit my used grief to hit my Winds of Abandon. This is a very good sideboarding strategy, and but if we get 4-1, at least I think it will be justice in a sense, because I think we should have beat Orzhov Hammer. Oh, what on earth? Well, at least I can still. I've got a lot of removal spells to hit this from, so. Including this. Alrighty. Alright, 4-1. Yeah, we should have beat Hammer Time, but we didn't. We should have lost to this deck, but we, I don't know how we should have lost. I mean, it seemed like we were getting unlucky, but like, but that was clearly just a misplay. So alright, 4-1, but it's just. Should have beat Hammer Time, but should have lost to this. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we should have beat this, and we should have beat Hammer Time, so we should have been 5-0, but I just mean like, you know, they kind of threw the game there. They definitely threw the game because they had that angel and everything. I'm trying to go back to the Hammer Time matchup. Did I throw that, or did I just get unlucky? I threw it. I remember, because I should have held the path. I was greedy with trying to go for the Winds of Abandon overload. I should have just Winds of Abandon the Pure Steel Paladin, and then just held path. And I think in the long game we grind value better than them. We have literally unlimited tokens with the Castle Ardenvale. So I think we always have to try to play the late game with Hammer, always. So we threw the Hammer game, should have won that. They threw this game, they should have won this. In the grand scheme of things, I think we should have beat both, but credit where credit's due. This is like a true 4-1 league, and I guess just some good luck came there at the end to counteract the... I shouldn't say good luck, I mean the opponent misplayed to counteract the misplay we made against Hammer Time, so hopefully that means all is right in the world. In any case, alright. Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, hey, 4-1, you know, this deck is a blast, you know. Yeah, and thank you Alexis Torres for fateful absence. That, I mean, no other card would have done it for us right there at the end. I mean, you know, would have undone their mistake, obviously. But all right, anyway. Okay, post league wrap up. I like it. I think we can finally rest in peace in a sense with the knowledge that I think we've pushed. I think we've pushed this deck about as far as I'm willing to take it for now. Obviously, I could jam an insane greater amount of games to try to like make this even better. But like, I mean, so what was my record? 4-1, 3-2, 4-1. I mean, that's not bad with this frickin' budget deck. Like, I mean, tell me, like, what other deck can you get this kind of bang for your buck? I remember when Hammer Time used to be a budget deck before they frickin' printed Urza Saga. Thank you, Wizards. But yeah. Although, in all honesty, Hammer Time would probably just be unplayable without Urza Saga. And I know it was doing good in certain metas, but yeah, I played it without Urza Saga, and honestly, I don't know that Urza Saga would fundamentally solve any of the problems that I was having, because most of the control decks are playing Spreading Seas these days, so they are come prepared for Urza Saga. But like, you know, but maybe I'm missing something. The only card out of Hammer Time that I didn't thoroughly test that was like in the stock list was Urza Saga, ironically. But of course, that's also not budget, which of course, you know, that's not necessarily a concern for us in the abstract. But for this budget series, definitely it's a no-no. Plus, also, isn't it just kind of cool to just try something different instead of just trying to make a Hammer Time deck? We could make a budget Hammer Time deck without Urza Saga, but like, why play a deck that's just strictly worse? And I think I said in one of the early versions that maybe this deck could benefit from Urza Saga. I think that was back when we had Esper Sentinel and I just can't remember, just more artifacts. I'm not even necessarily sure about that. Urza Saga can be blown up, as you can see, more easily by like artifact and enchantment hate. Castle Ardenvale also taps for white. You know, Urza Saga doesn't. And Castle Ardenvale is also a certain kind of inevitability, which is really sweet. Well, anyway, not sure what else to say. Just I'm liking it. This is it's you know, you could say what you want, but I mean, the results kind of speak for themselves. I think, you know, and I will say, full disclosure, I did have to burn a decent amount of ticks trying to perfect this. Like, I took a lot of lickens, okay? You know, I didn't record all of it, but I took a lot of lickens for you all, okay? But like, that's how it works, you know? Like, if you're trying to build a new deck, you got to take a lot of lickens at first, but you just got to keep relentlessly trying to identify which cards are working, which cards aren't, and try to like go from there, and don't just like give up. And you know, before you know it, you can turn your jankiness into like a 4-1 deck, and you know, and hopefully it you know, pays a profit in the end, and it you know, earns back the tickets you may have burned while trying to experiment. So yeah, you know, but I mean, I think we're finally there. I think we're finally past the most painful part of the experimentation phase. A lot of trial and error, lots of playing Squadron Hawk, lots of playing what's that card called? Leonin Arbiter, lots of playing Thalia, lots of playing Esper Sentinel, going back and forth between Esper Sentinel and Thraben Inspector. Lots of not knowing what other 2-drop to play, not knowing what cards to play in the sideboard, having Containment Priest in the sideboard that unfortunately we learned the hard way doesn't do anything against Living End. You know, yeah, we just a lot of trial and error, but I think we're finally past like I said, the most painful part of the experimentation phase. Still, I mean, this deck kind of rolls over and dies to Tron, which is unfortunate, because the Leonin Arbiter Ghost Quarter version definitely did not roll over and die to Tron, I will tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, 24 lands, Soul Guide, Mishra's Bauble, this deck's got, I think, what we need, so. Alright, anyway, see what to say. Yeah, I mean, Living End, it's pretty nice to have the main deck Lantern. 8-rack, obviously lots of card draw helps, plus the pro-black creature. Hammer Time obviously helps to have lots of instant speed interaction, especially out of the sideboard, but also Settle the Wreckage just wrecks them, you know, pun intended. Of course, we never saw Settle the Wreckage, or we did, but then they drew Thoughtseize like right on time. But yeah, under normal circumstances, first of all, most of them play mono white, so they don't play Thoughtseize. Second of all, Thoughtseize sucks, and you know, more often than not, it's just going to result in them losing life and not being a proactive card and it's going to be rotting in their hand. So like, they were just kind of lucky to just have it, you know, when they needed it instead of at a bad time. And yeah, and third, just you know, timing the path, Settle the Wreckage, and Winds of Abandon is just kind of the key. It's just really sweet to beating the beating the Hammer Time deck, but of course this time, you know, they just kind of lucked out and didn't happen that way. Jund can be kind of tricky in game 1, but as long as we know what we're up against, we can carefully play our lanterns appropriately to try to hit those Urza Sagas out of the graveyard so they can't recur them with Ren and 6. I think I'm not sure if I ultimately ended up settling on this, but I think, yeah, what's it called? Fatefully Absent is a is a nice card for this deck. Probably should have been there instead of Settle the Wreckage. It's also just nice to just hit a Ren and 6 just right out there. Yeah, and so I think it's beatable. It's probably, I don't know. It's really hard to say because I haven't played this deck much, but it feels beatable. Whether we're favored or not, I don't know, but it does feel beatable. Esper Reanimator, you'd think that we shouldn't even have lost game 1 when we have access to both Soul Guide Lantern and Core, Sanctifier and Vec, but hey, sometimes they get you. But ultimately, yeah, they got kind of lucky, but we did bring it around for sure. So yeah, not sure what else to say. I think all of these matchups are beatable, and we probably should have got a 5-1. A 5-0. Esper Reanimator should have beat us there in the end, but that would require them, I think, to get quite exceptionally lucky. But if we would have played tight, and I think the variance would have came out about normal, I think we should have got a 5-0. So hey, woulda, shoulda, could have, but hey, we did go 4-1, so can't complain about that. Well, anyway, yeah. So I think we're kind of going to be going off this one for a while. Definitely curious to know what you all think. If you're excited by me doing this nonsense, honestly, this deck is kind of maybe a little more fun to play than the Blinkblade deck. Believe it or not. Honestly, the Blinkblade deck kind of has polarizing matchups too, and I don't think it does any better against Tron, to be honest. Although Sanctum Prelate might be able to help a little bit more. Yeah, if I get a mono white deck in real life, I might actually just get this deck. Man, though, this deck looks so janky. The Blinkblade deck looks so much cooler. But at the end of the day, I think, believe it or not, I think at least these last 3 leagues, I don't think I've got this good of a string of results in a row with the Blinkblade deck, to be honest. Obviously, we took a lot of lickens before, so if you factor those in, obviously we're still kind of behind the Blinkblade deck. But I took a lot of lickens in the beginning with the Blinkblade deck, both learning just taxes in general and just learning that deck. So yeah, so I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's very possible that this deck actually has a better win rate than the more expensive version. How would you go figure that, right? But that's the thing. Look, Magic and real life don't exactly work the way you'd expect. Anyway, if nothing else, this is super fun trying something new, and also just showing you all. And here's another cool thing. Like, this is so dirt cheap to own. Like, if you're gonna, why not just like have this deck as a side deck? That's what I'm doing. Like, even if the Blinkblade deck is like my main mono white deck, it doesn't hurt to just have another deck on the side. And here we go. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, a part of me just started this concept to just try to like have budget versions of all of my decks. But if I end up preferring the budget version, do I just scrap the main version? Probably not, because obviously, like even with this deck, I wonder like if I wasn't trying to make it a budget deck, what would I add? And I don't know, honestly. Urza Saga, maybe. This deck obviously could support Urza Saga, but like it's obviously not as good as a dedicated Urza Saga deck. Urza Saga notably does not produce white, which means Sanctifier and Vec is gonna not hit on turn 2 as consistently. We may not be able to hit 4 mana as consistently because Urza Saga may not stick around that long. We may not be able to hit 6 mana from Winds of Abandon as consistently. Like Urza Saga might improve the deck, but it also doesn't exactly synergize with it as well as like say Castle Ardenvale in a way. But it just obviously has more raw power. But see what I mean? This is what I kind of like about building budget decks to like play to their own strengths. The way this deck is built, you know, it could be that Urza Saga is better, but like that's just very, very not clear. And Castle Ardenvale just has a lot of advantages in this particular build. It may or may not be better than Urza Saga. I'm suspecting it probably is, to be honest. It taps for white. It comes into play on tap most of the time. It doesn't disappear on us like Urza Saga will. It doesn't force us to play stuff like a one of Springleaf Drum or something to make up for the lost mana, which we could, but that would kind of mess with like our deck space and whatnot. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, the Castle Ardenvale sticks around. It taps for white. It doesn't get hit by artifact and enchantment hate. It also allows us to hold up, either activating it or playing Settle the Wreckage. Like, there's actually a lot going for Castle Ardenvale on this particular list. Plus, we don't play like the insane amount of artifacts other decks do. Thraben Inspector produces an artifact, you know, clue token, obviously, so there is that. But see what I mean? I'm not exactly 100%. I'm not really sure that adding money to this deck would really do that much. This deck is just kind of designed to be like a white weenie deck of old. And anyway, well. Anyway, I think I've talked long enough. I hope you all enjoyed this. Obviously, it can get a little frustrating sometimes, but it's all worth it in the end when these ideas kind of pay off, you know. And that's the thing too. Like I think the more like I get in the groove and like and the more like I become confident with this deck, and I don't necessarily, because that's the thing. The memory of taking my Lickens a little earlier on is still kind of with me. So maybe there's still a little bit of lingering frustration that comes out sometimes. So like maybe that's another thing. If I let this deck down a little bit, maybe maybe like I'll just start fresh. Because if you think about it, yeah, over the last 3 leagues, I mean, we're what, like 11. We're like 11 and 4, like 11-4 over the last 3 leagues. So like you really should just be looking to the most recent results. And yeah, yeah, but this probably will be the last time I'm experimenting with this for a little while. In any case, take care, everybody. Hope you enjoy, and yeah, see you all soon.